The Eagles' defence was the talk of the town last week, drawing the admiration of two AFL coaches, Ken Hinkley here on the couch and, of course, Damien Hardwick.
Yeah, it was credit to West Coast. They're doing some unbelievable stuff behind the ball. Their zoning behind the ball is as good as we've seen this year.
I think their system, that's a story for me that I'm prepared to look into a little bit more. What's their system? They've lost key backs. They've got a system in place now. Got a lot of belief in team defence, you know, and they're getting it done collectively, and that's a sign of a really good side.
Well, like everyone, I've been absolutely intrigued by the improvement in the West Coast Eagles, and I spent a bit of time over the weekend.
Not a bit, a lot of time.
Spent a lot of time over the weekend. I've come up with what I think is part spatial defence, part man-on-man, and we're going to call it the Weagles web because it is incredible how it looks. And I think to put it into true perspective, we've got some vision of a ball, same stoppage, same part of the ground, but two different defences. We're going to compare Fremantle, essentially man-on-man, with the Weagles web. Let's take a look at the first one from the Dockers. Well, let's start with the traditional man-on-man defence as utilised by the Dockers against Richmond in round 10. As we see here, we've got a stoppage in the Dockers forward half. The players are essentially playing man-on-man all around the ground. A couple of Dockers are pointing that there is a little bit of imbalance here. They're starting to move a player over to ensure they get that man-on-man. The stoppage gets underway. The players maintain their position. It's man-on-man Docker style all over the ground, as you can see by the highlighted players. And this serves a side particularly well, although you need some variation, as we'll see. The ball gets out. It gets into the dangerous zone from Richmond. There's another stoppage, but essentially as the ball comes in, they are still playing man-on-man. We've got one spare here, Ibbotson, and another one, the big fellow Sandlands, trying to get down, but it's too late. As we've seen over the years, Ross Lyon likes to play essentially man-on-man with one player as a floater. Garrick Ibbetson's that player. He's one of the best intercept markers in the competition at the moment. Compare that, Jason, to what we're about to see, which is spatial defence. Here we have players guarding space. Essentially nobody is on anybody, but they are significantly well placed that they can each guard the space and get connection with each of their men. Ball comes into a contested ball. Sinclair lets it go. The Eagles have still got the Tigers surrounded. They can't go down the dangerous area. The web maintains its formation, protecting the dangerous area at all times. The Tigers are pushed wide. The web maintains its formation. Each player about 15 to 20 metres apart. There's no easy solution. There's no easy kick back into the dangerous zone for the Tigers. Again, that web is making 5 players redundant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 18 versus 13 now on the ground where the ball is about to be contested. The Tigers are really having no other option but to try and chip the ball round, looking for an opening in the web. Frustration sets in. The Tigers are left with no other option but to kick it into a dangerous zone and hope somebody takes a mark. But just like a fly that goes into the spider's web, it closes down. And because they've got so many extra numbers here, the Eagles have a major win. They take it back, and essentially after that play, they had a shot at goal. Got a few other examples, but gotcha.
Gotcha, just like a fly.
It's fantastic team defence. What I love about it is the amount of pointing that's going on. Everybody knows where they're going, and Adam Simpson has got this side so well drilled. They are rising above any performance they've put forward before.
The synchronisation between the players and the direction is really good. Obviously, the awareness of each other, but the awareness of where the ball is. And actually, I'd love to see the still again of that shot, of just showing the players outside the web. You can see the 5 Richmond players outside that web. Now, the reason West Coast players allow them to stand out there because they're too far away from the ball. Now, a lot of the West Coast players are keeping within 60 metres of where the ball actually is, and anything outside of that, they're happy to let the players go, and it's a great graphic there.
Well, let's take a look at another one. There's plenty of variations, obviously, but here's a centre bounce with a similar web defence. They set up with 4 players across the baseline here, essentially who are simply guarding space. Hearn's a very interesting one. Watch him track the ball. Shepherd is another one. Lacroix goes forward and Rosa basically becomes a defensive sweeper. Let's have a look at how it unfolds here now. The ball goes forward. Essentially, you've still left with a combination. You've got your Schofield playing man-on-man. You've got your Wellingham also playing man-on-man. And McGovern, who many people think just guards space, doesn't. He is a man-on-man player but reads the ball particularly well. As it unfolds, you'll see the two forms interact. Players going up, not worrying about men. They are guarding space. They're looking for the turnaround, and eventually it comes. The dangerous kick. Look at Shepherd coming back, guarding the space down here. Hearn is the interesting one. He's read it best. And that is why they can always get a 2-on-1 situation. 2-on-1s everywhere. The other question regarding Jeremy McGovern. Now, I get frustrated when I hear people criticising McGovern's game because he doesn't play on anybody.
Well, I don't think people are criticising him for that. And just looking at that last one there, I don't think Richmond helped their own cause. They effectively had a three-man forward line, which is playing into the hands of the West Coast Eagles. And Jeremy McGovern is a smart enough player, again, to let his player go when he gets out of the dangerous zone and read where the ball's going to go. And that's what he does. He reads it so well.
But I hear a criticism, he doesn't play anybody. Let me prove to you...
It's got to be someone there to play on.
That he does. He's man-on-man. Let's take a look at this particular one. He's on Tyrone Vickery. He follows Vickery, but he's obviously told, don't go out of the danger zone. Let's guard the dangerous space. And if Vickery wants to go wide, he's prepared to let him get that kick. He sits back, reads the cues, plays man-on-man, drops back and takes an uncontested intercept mark.
Smart.
There's another one, and this is a classic combination of McGovern and the Webb defence. You see here, him and Wellingham have a great understanding. They change positions. Wellingham goes to the middle of what you'll see is the Webb. McGovern again is man-on-man. It's a contest. They lose possession. They guard the corridor, the dangerous zone. Again, the Webb maintains its formation and it pushes Richmond wide. Now, watch this. You can see McGovern down below. He points. They interact. Wellingham comes back, guards the leading lane, which allows McGovern to peel off. This is great combination work from the Eagles. McGovern comes back, Webb sets, it's 3 against 2. McGovern takes a great mark.
It's really smart, Jared, because we know that McGovern needs to be playing on Griffiths there if there's going to be a long ball and a one-on-one contest. Obviously, Wellingham's not suited, so great early communication, pick up by the defenders. But then when Griffiths leads up into congestion, McGovern's prepared to let him go. And that's part of the skill and the art of being a very good defender. Not everyone can do that, is reading when to let your player go and when to start him. I played with a guy, Justin Lepage, who was unbelievable at that, at reading the cues. He often copped flack for not picking guys up, but he seemed to always be on them in the critical situations, much like McGovern is, Joe.